Now eating is boring, but the times between eating, I feel great.
And so here's the problem with what Chris Pratt is doing for most people. He clearly has a lot of willpower. Clearly likes the results. Wouldn't you? He's being paid millions of dollars to look like this. Coach Greg and Chris Pratt opens up, reveals his secrets on how he transformed his body. Used to be obese, close to 300 pounds, lost over 60 pounds of fat to get in shape for various roles. And the first thing you're thinking is, well, it's gotta be PDs. It's gotta be taking special fat burners, PDs, various things, perhaps HRT. And yes, that's possible, but based on what I see as he was growing up and how he transitioned into his later adult years, I do believe the guy is 100% natural. And so in his earlier years, the guy was actually in really good shape. You could see he had abs, was lean, had a decent amount of muscle. It's not like he was fat his entire life growing up, obese, couldn't get his weight under control, and suddenly lost it and developed a bunch of muscle. He went from being a pretty in shape looking actor to gaining a ton of body fat. And so what does that sound like? Sounds like most people. Many people, high school, they're playing sports, active, in great shape. They graduate high school, go to university, or perhaps get a job, and they become more sedentary. They like drinking the beers on the weekend, eating out with their friends, and lo and behold, they gain a significant amount of body fat. And Chris Pratt, well, he can gain a lot of fat. Have you seen him at his biggest? Close to 300 pounds. And for Chris, I don't believe he has great genetics for being lean. He has to work at it. He has above average hunger hormones such as ghrelin and not enough leptin. That makes him hungry, makes him want to eat more food. And so as a result of being hungry and liking food, having fun, he gained a lot of weight. Then he played various roles where he had to be fatter. Then he went from playing movie roles where he had to be fatter to movie roles where he had to be leaner, look athletic. And so based on his movie role, he would go on a diet, train, lose the weight, and looked great, amazing. And then after that, off the diet, all you can eat for 6 months. And you see the results. But eventually he said, enough is enough. I want to be healthy. I feel better mentally, physically, everything when I'm eating healthy and exercising. And so to this day, even though he's much older, he's significantly leaner, looks way better as he approaches his late 30s and early 40s than he did when he was young. And so just because you're getting older, don't use that as an excuse. Oh, I should have a dad bod because I'm getting old. No, with hard work, dedication, consistency, you can look just as good at the age of 40 and beyond as you did when you were 20. Sure, you might get a few wrinkles, but your body, your health, cardiovascular endurance, that can improve. Case in point, Coach Greg. I'm still at it, 46 years old. Still working out hard, training, doing what I used to do. If you keep at it, you can be fit well into your old ages.
When I was on Avengers and you had so many superheroes together, they all had private chefs, and I was like, hey, let me get some of that.
And so you can see, if you have a lot of money, you can get a private chef and they can cook you the exact meals that you need. But just because you don't have a private chef, that's not an excuse. Oh, they have so much money, they can hire the best personal trainers, chefs, and so on. Of course they can. But does that mean you can't make healthy meals at home? Does that mean you can't opt to not eat a donut? That you can eat something healthy? Of course you can. And so stop making excuses and start making excuses as to why you can do it.
And so I got into Hemsworths Chef, who cooked me kangaroo, believe it or not. After 2 days, I mean, look, my arms are half the size of his.
And so Chris jokes and says, well, check out my arms. They're clearly half as big as Chris Hemsworth.
I can't believe that I would eat 5 cheeseburgers for lunch. I lived in like a constant state of, oh God, I'm freaking sick of eating so much. And that was happiness at that time.
And so clearly back in the old days, 5 cheeseburgers for lunch. He was always eating until he was full and or stuffed and living meal to meal. Eating, that's what brought him joy, happiness. For many people, this is the case. Food tastes so freaking good. We all want to eat food. Well, not everyone, but for the majority of people, food brings us happiness. And think of it, we've evolved to be like this. Food tastes amazing, makes us feel good, makes us want to go after it. That helps us to survive. Case there's times of famine. Problem is now, for most people, food is too readily available and in the form of high calorie dense foods. And so today, foods are too high in sugar and fat, highly palatable, delicious foods, and once you start eating, very difficult to put the frickin' fork down. And so what do? We keep eating till we're stuffed. Then we go to the next meal, we do it again, and we wonder why we become obese. It's because foods taste too good, it's hard to stop eating them, and we like the way it makes us feel.
And now it's the exact opposite. Now eating is boring, but the times between eating, I feel great.
And so here's the problem with what Chris Pratt is doing for most people. He clearly has a lot of willpower. Clearly likes the results. Wouldn't you? He's being paid millions of dollars to look like this. If you were paid millions of dollars, said, hey, if you look like this, lose 20, 30 pounds and have a little bit of abs, pay you millions of dollars, probably gonna do it. It's a lot of motivation. He's a superstar, famous actor with all the money in the world.
Now eating is boring, but the times between eating, I feel great. Whereas before, eating was fun, but the times between, I felt like crap.
So does that sound realistic for you? Imagine eating is now boring. Something that brought you pleasure all the time, suddenly you don't even like it. Boring, you don't want to do it. Really? Does that sound like a sustainable diet to you? Eats plain foods, boring. Perhaps chicken, broccoli, and rice. How many of you can do that? You can for a few months, sure. You got enough motivation for that. Then what happens after you get that physique? You go to binge. You regain the weight, hence yo-yo dieting. That's the problem with most diets. 95% fail. 95%! 1 in 20 chance of actually losing the weight and keeping it off.
First transformation of my body to become Star-Lord was the hardest because I had the furthest to go. I was about almost 300 pounds.
His first transformation was the hardest because he had the most weight to lose. Just over 60 pounds, imagine. But after that, because he didn't gain so much weight, it was easier. He'd done it before. Body remembered how to do it. And so here's a piece of advice. If you do in fact lose all the weight and then gain some back, don't gain it all back. And so the greater the calorie surplus you are in, the more a calorie deficit you're going to need to balance it out. So my advice, try to get to a healthy weight. I've said this in so many videos, people still don't get it. A healthy body fat percentage for most men, probably around 15%. Some amazing genetics, perhaps closer to 10, others maybe closer to 20. And once you get there, stay there. Eat enough food to sustain the current body fat that you're in and build muscle slowly from there. That is how you do it in the most healthy way possible, both mentally and physically. Trust me, it's not fun to get fat in the off-season. It's not fun. You see yourself going from what you liked, you gain a bunch of fat, thinking it's all muscle, and then once you diet it off, you realize, oh, it was all fat after all. You make the same amount of progress whether you bulk and cut or main gain. So my advice, why bulk and cut? If you want, sure, go ahead. Have that fun while it lasts, but realize eventually you're going to have to cut, and it is not fun to be on a diet.
It sucks at first, but soon you kind of realize that you feel better emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually.
And so you hear it from the horse's mouth himself, Chris. He's telling us. You feel better mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Everything feels better when you're consistent and healthy. None of this binging and then dieting. Be consistent and be healthy.
So that requires some sacrifice.
It comes down to making sacrifices. You have to choose to want this. What are you going to sacrifice? Well, he said this in multiple videos.
So that requires some sacrifice. And you have to be willing to sacrifice.
And so what does it come down to? Well, you have to make small sacrifices. And what are those sacrifices? Well, you have to be willing to give up some higher calorie dense foods, foods that are higher in calories, for some lower calorie dense foods, foods that are lower in calories. If you can do that, you're gonna lose weight. Simple as that, that's it. It's that freaking simple. Can't do that, not willing to change your diet at all? Don't have to. You don't even have to change your diet. You know what you can do? Burn off more calories. How? How can I do that? Go for a walk. Take up a sport. Move more. Start gardening. Mow the lawn. Mow it quick. Mow it every other day instead of every 3 days. You will burn more calories, increase your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's really that simple. And so all you have to do is decrease the calories in your diet by whatever method you want and burn off more calories. If you don't know how to lower the calories in your diet and you like eating high volume, delicious recipes, Get my freaking cookbook. It's so easy. Unfreaking believable the difference this cookbook can make. You have no idea. The thousands, the tens of thousands of people who bought it, they know. They know 96% of the people that bought this said they would recommend it to a friend. A friend, not an enemy. A friend. They like to help their friends. They said, yeah, I think if my friend had this book, it would help them. 96%. You know how many people that is? It's literally 96 out of 100. That's a lot.
Oh, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Too expensive.
It's the most important decision of your life to get healthy. If you can't afford to buy it, you can afford to watch more of my videos. I have over 2,070 videos right now. Over 2,000. You can watch videos and learn and be proactive about your health. Chris Pratt did it. Sure, he's got a lot of money, hired a private chef, trainers, and so on, but you can do it. You like to read? 4 to 6 hours, you read this book, you will know more than 99% of coaches that you could hire on how to lose weight and keep it off. The Circle Diet book, My Life's Work, explained simple. I used to be a school teacher. You read the book, it's easy to understand. You can apply the principles right away, not later in life, now. Help you to lose the weight now, today.
For me, actually, it was really about just kind of trying to trim body fat. So I did something called intermittent fasting.
And so you can follow his diet. Try it. Go ahead. 95% chance it's not going to work, but go ahead, be my guest. And so would you rather intermittent fast, eat boring foods for 6 hours a day, or eat 4 to 5 meals a day, foods that you love that taste amazing, and then you're full? I don't know. It's a tough choice. Tough choice. I have no idea what you should do.
I go to my mother-in-law's house for Sunday family dinner, and I just go crazy. And I do about 7 days worth of damage, and I take about 7 days to pay that off.
And so how does he find his diet? Well, he has a cheat day. It's all worth it because, once a week he goes to his parents' house and eats all desserts in sight and then has to undo that damage for the rest of the week by starving himself on boring foods. But it works.
And you have to be willing to sacrifice long, arduous periods of time exercising and physically exhausting and grueling work.
And so does that sound like motivation or me saying, get my freaking cookbook? You replace the high-calorie foods that you're eating right now with lower-calorie ones, and you still get to eat them, they still taste amazing, and you're full, satisfied, not starving, and you can get your goals. But you don't know what to do.
Smooth or chunky peanut butter. For me, it doesn't matter, but I do have to eat the entire jar.
Peanut butter, yes, eat the entire jar. Or you could make my peanut butter recipe. 1/4 of the calories. You can eat 4 times more of it. You can eat 4 jars in the cookbook. And so do you get it? Are you starting to understand? People, I don't think they understand. I don't think they get it. Tens of thousands of people do, but why haven't you got it yet? What are you waiting for?
Red Lobster or Olive Garden? C, both.
And so you can clearly see from these jokes, he's a big eater, he's always hungry. Imagine if he had the cookbook, imagine how much his life would change. No longer would he be eating boring foods and hating his life and not wanting to do what he's doing. Chris Pratt, get this book, change your life.
That's the problem, is people want to know what the secret is. The secret is you can't do it in a month.
All the damage you did from not exercising, eating too many calories, having too much junk, you can't undo it in a month. It's going to take months and or years, even your lifetime. But consistency is where it's at. So please, find a diet that's sustainable for you, that you can do for the long term. Not one that you can follow for 3 months, one that you can do forever. Get the freaking cookbook. The change is so easy. All you have to do is substitute some of these meals for the ones that you're eating. Simple. Couple that with the Circle Diet book explaining exactly how to go about doing this. My Life's Work explains simple so that you can easily understand this. Probably takes 6 hours max to read this book. You'll understand it. You'll know more than 99% of coaches. You spend thousands of dollars of coaches. Fine, probably can work, can help for sure. Or you get this freaking book, read it, learn it, and then maybe you can coach other people. Trust me. This is quality information. Masters kinesiology, lost weight, competed 59 times bodybuilding competition, coached thousands of people. I know what I'm talking about, and I know this can help. Hopefully the video helped. Ending it here. Remember, harder than last time supplements, tons of supplements to help with your weight loss journey, from fat burners to creatine, pre-workout protein powders, all kinds of stuff. Can't list it all here. Click the link in the description. Don't forget to watch the bloops. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette, IFBB Pro. Remember, I do coaching plans with me and my team. Also have phone consults. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm. And until next time, I am out.